Hello friends, Those Back Pages here. I hope you're well. Hope whatever you are involving yourself in this hobby, you're enjoying yourself. Obviously, I'm hearing a lot of panic and a lot of people. Everything is crashing, everything is down, the hobby is dying. The usual panic talk. Stay the course. Keep collecting. Enjoy yourself. Keep adding to your collection. Take advantage of this time. If the prices are down, I guess it depends on what you're buying. The stuff I want to buy is either not showing up or it certainly is not dying. Probably a combination of the two, if I'm being honest. Tonight, you're only going to see goat meat. So, if you don't like goat meat, this video is not going to be for you. But, if you want to stick around, maybe you'll learn something. I greatly appreciate it. Your time is important. So, as you can probably guess by the title of tonight's episode, the authenticity guarantee. The eBay, I think that's what it's called, the authenticity guarantee. I made a purchase that for the first time qualified for the authenticity guaranteed, and here it is. I haven't opened it yet. We're going to open it live tonight together. Yeah, give you my thoughts on that in a minute, but I wanted to show off some other mail that I had gotten in. Not very much. I mean, like I said, everyone is, the Pelly boys and such. Oh, everything's dying, it's crashing, the market is burning to the ground, and blah, blah, blah. Whether you believe that or not, I guess it depends on what you're having. Now, what you're holding, if you're looking at it from an investment standpoint, which you shouldn't be, but some people do. Where do I start here? Let's start with a little everyone's favorite hockey. I picked up this at auction, this 1970 O-Pee-Chee Bobby Orr. This card is very tough on centering. This one is particularly very well centered. It's a PSA 2 MK. Explain why in a minute. Yeah, there's some corner damage there. In here as well. It's rounded corners. It's a well-loved card. On the back, you can see somebody. Let me get my handy pointer. Somebody wrote 1944-63. Didn't take the time to search to see what those meant, but all I know is that because it was a 2MK, it saved me a bunch of money. Presents very well in the slab. Like I said, this is a tough centering issue. 70 O-Pee-Chee, 70 tops as well. I'd like one of those. It's probably my favorite Orr card. Don't own the rookie. Not yet, anyway. And, he's notorious for retiring early due to leg issues. The way he's depicted on this card, you can look at those. It cracks me up. Look at those legs. Obviously, there's some, prehistoric Photoshop there, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so happy to have that in the collection. I can't remember. This was I want to say one chrome crap blaster. Topps crap blaster. So happy to have that in the collection. Let's see. Okay. Next up, the GOAT from 1981 O-Pee-Chee. This is the Super Action card from 81 Did I say 91? 81 O-Pee-Chee. So it's a It's like an all-star card, but it's an in-action card. It's a subset card. Essentially, it's not his base card. But I saw this listing, and again, knowing what you're buying, studying, and whatnot, this is a very tough card to find centered. You know, especially in not 9 or 10 shape. 9 or 10 shape is way too much money. So I'm not going to bother. You know, and another good thing with the current eBay, you know, with the thumbnails they use, you can kind of enlarge your screen and then scroll down. You don't even have to open the listings anymore. And I mean, if you've seen this card enough, you know that it's a tough card to find centered. So when I saw this at auction, 5, it's like, man, that's, you know, again, people ask you, hey, what do you think of this card's going to grade? And what do you think? Let me show you this slab I picked up. What do you think? Why was it graded this? You really can't tell any of these things on the internet. But, you know, I had my price in mind, which was less than a crap blaster, and I won. And I got it in the mail, and I had to look it over to find out what's going on. And I think I found it, because here, I don't know if it'll pick up on the camera, but here you can kind of see it, almost like a rubber band indentation. I don't know if they treat that as a crease. You know, I'm not very familiar with... Yeah, but you can really see it right there. It doesn't really go across, but it starts there. I mean, if you know O-Pee-Chee, this is a beautiful example of this card. So very happy to have that in the collection, and it made me think when I figured out, you know, what the problem is signed, you know, why it would get a 5, maybe because of that looks like a rubber band mark. It made me think of, you know, another card I own that I've shown off before, but it applies here, and it's from my 1984 Star Basketball, Michael Jordan, in a BGS 6. You know, I've had this a long time, probably 10 years. And you can see the subgrades there. Centering 8.5, edges 8.5, corner 7, and surface 5. And again, I've shown this as well. Again, you can kind of right there, almost adjacent to his kneecap, a little higher. See if I can, right there. There's a rubber band mark there, and it actually semi goes across to the other side as well, over here. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up, but right there you can kind of see it. It goes right across. So obviously I think they treat that as a crease as well. You know, giving it a 5 on surface. It's got 8.5 centering, 8.5 edges, 7 corners. So they deem that strong enough, whatever it may be. That's not the point. The point is that, you know, using the grading rules to your advantage to save you a bunch of money. And this wasn't cheap. Even back in the day, this wasn't cheap. This was a couple $100. It wasn't, you know, this was not cheap 10 years ago. And depending on, you know, what you believe as far as the internet says, you know, this came out before the 101 did. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you don't know. But no need to get into that now. But when I had the Gretzky in person and I figured that out, it reminded me of the MJ. And you can never have too many goats. You know, I've been saying it around social media that you know, winter is coming. Stock up on your goat meat. So I got another piece of mail in. Card I've shown before, but this happens to be another copy. Just because, you know, the price was too good to pass up. You know, I'm one of those people that, you know, Love to have everything. Who wouldn't? But I don't mind duplicates if the price is right and the card is right. Let me just show it and I'll talk. It's from 2003 Upper Deck Basketball. It's Michael Jordan UD exclusives number to 100. You can see it says number 58 of 100 there on the bottom. And a PSA 8. Now, this was not cheap, but it wasn't, extravagant. It's only an 8, like I said. But there's only 100 of these. I have a PSA 9 and I have a PSA 8. A friend of mine has another PSA 9, so we have 3% of the production. It's only 100. It's 2003, which was LeBron's rookie year, which, it's the year after. It's not technically not a playing days card for Jordan because 02 was his last playing days cards with the Wizards. So I see these kind of cards, and I can't help myself adding another one. Like I said, it's numbered to 100. It's gold. On the base card, this is silver, not gold. It's Michael Jordan. It's Michael Jordan. Those UD exclusives are very, and again, this card is about to turn 20 years old. We're in November now of 22. It's going to be 2023 soon. These cards we don't think of them, at least I don't. These 54s are going to be the math's difficult. They're going to be they're 68 years old, so they're about to be 69 years old. But yeah, we don't stop and we don't think about that stuff, but it's true. We're not getting any younger. These cards aren't getting any younger. And when you're talking about stuff like this, they didn't even list the odds, really, I don't think. If they did, I don't have that information. But are you going to open 2003 Upper Deck packs if you can find them? Good luck. So, on to this package here. You see there in front of you the 1954 Topps baseball and Bowman. Unfortunately, after the 53 season, sometime Mantle signed an exclusive deal with Bowman, and the only reason he didn't have a 54 Topps card, he didn't have a 55 Topps card, but he had a 56 Topps card because somewhere between the 55 season and the 56 season, Topps bought Bowman. So when you own Bowman, you can put all their exclusives in your own product if you want to. A lot of shades of what's going on now when you stop and think about it. So, along with Mantle, going to Bowman exclusive in 54 was Ted Williams. So he has it. He has Topps cards. He has card number 1 and card number 250 in the 54 Topps set. I think I own the orange one. I didn't dig them out. I need to work on my Ted Williams. I don't have the Bowman either. I'd like the Bowman. He actually was I got that wrong. He went to in 54. He was a Topps exclusive, Ted Williams, and he went. Bowman put out a 54 card of him in the 54 Bowman set, and it was pulled. So it's a relatively short print. It's not scarce or anything. I mean, there's probably a dozen or so, maybe 20 on eBay right now, so it's not really rare or anything. But Dave did a video on it a while back now, but I would like to add one to my collection. But so 54 Topps didn't have Mantle, so I years ago I picked up a 54 Bowman mantle because there's no 54 tops. And if you do this, collecting thing long enough, you get asked, oh, what's your favorite set? This, that, and the other. Probably 54 tops. It's probably my favorite set. If it had mantle in it, it would probably clinch the deal because, it's got, as you see there, the Banks rookie, the Aaron rookie, the Kaline rookie. It's got the 2 Ted Williams. Jackie's in it. Willie Mays is in it. I mean, the list goes on and on. But Mantle's not in it. But, and it's, the year before the 55 guys, Clemente, Koufax, Killebrew, etc. But that brings me to the authenticity guarantee. Is a mouthful. So yes, the authenticity guarantee that eBay does. This card is not raw. So, and I won it a couple weekends ago from New Jersey. I'm in New York. And I usually get, 2 days from Jersey to here. So I think it was a Sunday I won. I paid Monday. In the old times, Monday would have shipped. I would have had it by Wednesday. But because of the authenticity guarantee, it had to go from New Jersey to California. They had to make sure it was authentic, then package it up. If you guys have seen, I guess technically this is an unboxing, but you've seen these. This is my first involvement with anything like this. So I did not. Did I do that right? I hope so. Let's find out. I mean, if this doesn't pass, I'm gonna be quite upset. But the packaging is nice. I mean, it's a nice sturdy box for shipping slabs. A lot better than a bubble mailer. But this fancy case and everything. Let's find out. I guess this is like a magnet. Yep. Greatness in your hands. We're thrilled to deliver the latest edition. I knew that was going to happen. To your collection. This item has been inspected by the team of industry experts at CGC, SGC, CSG, or PSA, so you can display it with total confidence. Please note it was discovered to contain an embedded relic. We stand behind the authenticity of sealed plastic holder, but we cannot guarantee the authenticity of the embedded fabric. Oh, I guess if it does, that does not apply here. And there it is. Wow. How do you... I guess it falls apart. Oh, okay. I see. It's fancy. Your collection is now upgraded. Gee, thanks. I could have told you that when I won it. They put a sticker on it and everything. Void if damaged. I guess I'm not taking it out right now. But, there you see it. I mean, it's, wow. It's quite a nice looking copy. Really happy. I mean, I've been trying to pick one of these up, and there's some buy it nows on eBay that are a little silly in the price range for PSA 1s. You know what? Void if damaged. We gotta get this puppy out of this baggie. We don't like baggies here on the channel. So I guess it's void now. Anyway, this is the 1954 Topps Gordie Howe. Wow. I think I've seen them at shows, but, unfortunately, I never really paid attention to this set. It's pretty much the original 6 teams. But, man, this is in really nice shape. It's got corner wear, but, you get the assigned grade somehow. Some edge wear there, but the main thing is that, like, the main subject is in fine shape. I don't see any creases. That doesn't mean anything. But, I mean, if it had a crease going over here, who would care? I mean, I got off the track a little bit, but this is the 1954 Topps Gordie Howe, who Gretzky and Orr have both said is the greatest of all time. But, those guys are kind of humble. And he may very well be. That's debatable. It's those 3. Or you put those names in a hat, you're not going to lose. So 54 Topps hockey, which is kind of interesting because the thing is, try not to knock this over. By the way, I knocked my display over twice setting it up tonight, which should shock nobody. So, 54 Topps hockey was the first year that Topps made hockey cards, and I guess I should have read up on it more. My 50s knowledge isn't as strong as it should be, but it's funny that they didn't make football until 1956, 2 years after this Howe, and they didn't make basketball until 1957. But for some reason, they decided to make hockey in 54. Now, I think, personally, Parkhurst was a very popular hockey brand, and they were doing very well at, 51, Parkhurst Gordie Howe is his rookie. So, they had Richard, that Howe, had a bunch of guys. But I much like when Topps, came along and crushed Bowman just by buying them out. I mean, one could argue that the Bowman cards put out, especially the 53 set, the color 53 set, just crushed Topps. It's debatable, I suppose. But it's just interesting that, they made Topps hockey for the first time in 54, 2 years before football and 3 years before basketball. It just kind of puts things in perspective, doesn't it?